And we are rolling. Great. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Facebook Live here at the Guy Harvey home studio in Grand Cayman. As you can see, I'm just touching up this piece here. I know it's been around for a couple of weeks, but I like to work on a piece, then go back on it a week or two later and just touch it up a little bit. But George, our producer, is going to use this in a little feature we're doing on yellowfin tuna, so I thought I'd touch it up today. So, we are going to look at invasive species today for about half an hour, both marine and terrestrial. And if Jessica can turn the camera around to the preeminent invasive species here in the Caribbean, which is the lionfish.
Voila.
How are we doing?
Good.
How does it look on screen? I know it's
yeah, it's a little. I'm just gonna turn the.
It's a little pale, probably because this is a stipple, and very, very, very fine detail. And as I was just saying about the other piece of art I was working on, I left this all the surrounding paper blank for about a year, had it in the gallery, and decided to add some reef fish in color to it. Not only does it jazz it up a bit, but also it tells more of the story of how invasive this animal is, because these are all Atlantic fish, and this is a Pacific fish. And so that's the genesis of the entire problem that we're going to discuss today.
Mm-hmm. So
what do you got?
Yes, just want to say good afternoon, everybody.
I like the glasses.
Thank you. It's helping me see right now as I've been staring at a screen for many hours.
Okay, cool.
But just welcome everybody. We're gonna give it a couple, maybe a minute or two more, just to allow people to sign in. And we are glad that you are here. This is one of our several Facebook Live sessions where we talk on Saturdays. Just as a friendly reminder, Saturdays at 11 Eastern Standard Time, we talk about different Guy Harvey documentary. So for those of you who have not seen, can please go on to Amazon Prime. And what are you doing?
So what do you think of my new mask?
It's really cool. It actually matches, it goes with your outfit.
Oh, of course, that's why I put it on. I'm stylish, you know.
You are, yeah.
Anyway, a good friend of ours, Andy Marcher, who's a famous restaurateur here, chopped up a Guy Harvey shirt, made a couple dozen masks for all his friends and handed them out. I think they're pretty effective.
Yeah.
They're very comfy.
They're very, Mm-hmm. No, they're very good. So talk about reduce, reuse, recycle.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we look forward to having our own version of these coming out in the next month or two. So
yes, no, exactly. So so following up on that, there's a lot to keep in touch with, and also just a quick shout out to the fact that we have a promotion going on right now for celebrating our heroes on guyharvey.com. So you can see a t-shirt that was specifically designed to help raise funds for Feeding America organization.
Oh, okay.
And so you guys can go online now. It's only available until April 24th, so get those in. And it's to help.
What is the date today? I've completely lost track of time.
The 21st.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Tomorrow is Earth Day.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
Anyway, so right. So what I was saying. So please go into guyharvey.com and check out that t-shirt. It's celebrating all of our heroes: firemen, veterans, nurses, you name it. Whoever is considered your hero, doctors. We're celebrating those guys today. And yes. So as Dad mentioned, this particular session is going to be on invasive species. We have educational videos on the lionfish and also on the other invasive species that we're going to briefly mention today is the green iguana. That's because we did a lot.
Do we have any of those here? Green iguana.
When you say here, as in the studio?
Cayman, yeah. No.
In Cayman, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we do. And we'll talk about that later. But I'm going to be helping out in the back with Facebook Live. So please keep feeding in all your questions. Thank you for everybody who's come on board.
Could you quickly go downstairs and get the lionfish jug and a spear gun for me? Quickly, while I'm talking. Okay. It shows what we do here.
Okay.
Right. All right, while she's gone, I can take this mask off. Cool, so let's go back to the lionfish. They've been a problem in the Caribbean, Western Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico for about 10 years now. We first noticed them here in Cayman in about 2008, 2009, just one or two. I saw them in the Bahamas before that. We're out there doing a lot of shark diving and saw some pretty big lionfish out there. And of course, you must be wondering, well, how did they get A, to the Caribbean and Atlantic, and B, to all these different places? Well, thank you very much, Chris. They're a favorite of the aquarium trade because they are a beautiful animal. And you've probably seen our brief video about them already. But the thing is that they're predators. You put them in a tank with other fish, they grow really fast, they eat all the other fish in the tank, and then the owner wants to get rid of them because you can't keep feeding them, and they've grown too big. So they pitch them in the canal. And you do that hundreds and hundreds of times, and you build up the invasive population now to a threshold that is now reproducing on its own very successfully because of their very fast reproductive rate. And there lies the problem. And then they spread. And they spread geographically through the passage of their eggs and larvae, like all other fish, in the currents. And that's how they invade different geographical areas over a wide distance.
We just want to say hello to everybody now that I'm back behind the camera so I can see everybody's comments. As I was mentioning earlier before I stepped out, please send in your questions. And we're going to be highlighting things that were talked about in the various educational videos. And so I just want to see who signed in. Hello from Dallas. Yancy from Dallas. We have Laurie who says, my husband loves you and all the work you do, your fashion clothes and your paintings. We have several. Thank you so much. Wyatt is a top fan. Jim Hayden just saw this, Dad. He's a good artist. Thank you. Julian says hello. Lauren, Colin, thank you so much, everybody. We have a couple of people from Cayman signing in. John Norris, hello. It's been a long time. Hope you're well. Mark Baker, Mike. From Gloucester, Virginia. Bruce Wonkin signed in. Hello, cuz.
Hi, cuz.
Let's
make some progress on this guy.
Yes.
We got two species to cover.
Yes,
here.
Absolutely.
So lionfish, this is about the maximum size they get to in real life here, which is about double the size they get to in their home range in the Indian and Western Pacific Oceans, the Red Sea and places like that. And why is that? Because everything in the Caribbean and Atlantic doesn't recognize them as a predator, and none of the reef predators like groupers and snappers and little sharks don't recognize them as a food item. So they've overeaten. In fact, many of these fish, when we cut them open, they've got a lot of fat inside them, and they've done extremely well. But the problem is that they're eating all these fish little tiny ones that would grow into big commercially important species like groupers and snappers and grunts and all the rest of it. And we have found over 100 different species of reef fish inside their stomachs. And how? Well, there was a lot of research work done in the late 2000s, early 2011, 2012 on this species, just to find out what kind of damage they were causing. And then, of course, and I got this
sorry guys, just adjusting.
I got this authorized spear here in my hand because we started to cull them because they reached such high numbers. They were really having a bad effect on
we being the Cayman Islands.
Being anybody who dived. And so in the Cayman Islands where spearfishing is very limited and we have a lot of marine parks, it was a tough decision for the Department of Environment to actually give you a course on how to use a sling spear like this, a Hawaiian spear, very short as you can see, for the single purpose of catching lionfish. And it's short because you can go right up to the lionfish, very close to them, and then you just jab them like that.
Mind your art and peace, man.
And so we effectively started taking them out. But the added benefit was that they're very good to eat. They have a very soft, beautiful white succulent flesh. And the trick is to once you get them, you spear them. We converted this 5-gallon water bottle into a lionfish holder, very effective. You shoot the fish, stick it down there, pull it out, and the lionfish stays in there. And by the end of the dive, you can put in 15 or so into here, but you can carry them around safely. They're not going to dig into your leg while you're swimming along with them. as has happened to many people, and we can get them into the boat and get them into a cooler. So how do we treat the fins? We took shears and we cut off all the dorsal fins, the pectoral fins which are not with spines. The dorsals have the spines, pelvic fin, and the pelvic fin here, and the anal fin. So you cut them all off with shears, put them on the ice, and take them home and cook them up, and they're fantastic to eat. Jess, you want to add anything to that?
Yes, I just, well, hold on 1 second. I'm just seeing who's sending them in. Great questions coming in, and
Good.
great people, a lot of people from all over saying hello, from Puerto Rico, from Ecuador. Hello, Fernando, Chrissy, and from Laurie from Columbus, Ohio. Paul's just asked a great question. Have any other known predators been known to eat them?
Yes, lots of studies been done here, especially in Little Cayman by CCMI. And in their studies, one of which we funded, they found that tethered live lionfish got eaten by nurse sharks in particular. But as I was saying the other day, when we used to go up to Little Cayman for the grouper spawn, the Nassau grouper spawn in early January, the area where the spawning took place, we never saw any lionfish because there were so many adult groupers, like 8,000 of them. And I'm pretty sure they ate out all the lionfish. They certainly did in the early years, and we got it on film. But I think the groupers cleaned the lionfish out of that area. But it's become a big deal now. Do you want to talk about the culling and the Department of Environment? And what they do?
Sure. So bear with me 1 sec, guys, because I won't be able to see what people are saying while I'm here versus there.
Maybe I can tell you.
Oh, you're more likely to exit out of the Facebook Live session. Anyway, so yes, the removal effort done in Cayman Islands, as well as many other Caribbean islands, has been very helpful with trying to regulate these predators on the reef. And as you'll see from the educational video, the explosion of lionfish within the Caribbean once...
The expansion, you mean? All right,
yes.
Yeah.
And so, as Dad mentioned, part of the reason was that people were releasing their lionfish. You had hurricane issues that had affected an aquarium, and a couple of other things that led to what we're seeing today. And so the Department of Environment, have been trying to effectively help with this effort by you sign up to be
you don't need to get into that detail. It's an organized, choreographed effort, and the most effective way of doing it is having a tournament. So a big cull. So let's get into that.
So the Cayman United Lionfish League, or CUL, is the group who operate and coordinate the tournaments here. Yeah. And so if you are in the States or in
they have lots of them all over Bahamas, Florida.
But you obviously need to know what you're doing too, because to get jabbed by one of these guys is very painful, and so you have to know how to remove them.
Cool.
So is that what you meant?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so they're basically here to stay, and they're so numerous, and they've invaded every aspect of shallow and deep marine habitats. So we find them in mangroves, in 1 foot of water. People find them down at 1,000 feet on wrecks and in other places, using diving vehicles and stuff like that. So this is an animal that has really taken over. And of course, in places where there's not much human interaction or intervention, it's a free-for-all. And so the limitless opportunities for feeding are going to allow them just to really take over a reef environment.
And then the other thing too is that they can be found at very deep depths.
What I was just saying.
But Carlos has just pointed out, hello again, Carlos. He's been on every Facebook Live session that we've had. Thank you so much. He says the lionfish at the Gulf of Mexico are showing some sores and wounds from bacteria. Are lionfish at the Caribbean showing these same symptoms?
I haven't been out there, to be honest with you,
but they have
for a while, so that's good to hear.
Yeah. No, with the last call, which was a while ago that I had seen, there were some, and I think it's still up for debate as to what those are caused by. Yeah. But do you want to just talk a little bit about Lionfish University and Dr. Steve?
No, I don't know much about it, but what is going to be worth looking at is after this hiatus where we won't have been diving for at least 2 months around the Cayman Islands, is how this population of lionfish is going to come back big time. And again, you know, we're not allowed to go out there and measure anything right now, but it will be very interesting to go to some of these sites and just see the recovery of lionfish, not only here, but in the Bahamas and other places, because it's going to be very serious. They're very fast growing species and they spread very quickly because they can reproduce every 4 days, 30,000 eggs at a time. And there's no controls.
Gary is asking, how poisonous are lionfish?
They're not poisonous, they're venomous. They've got venom in these 13 dorsal spines, in the 1 spine on the pelvic fin, and the 3 spines on the anal fin. So those are the only venomous parts. The fish is not poisonous to eat, and in fact heat denatures the venom. And so if you cook it, automatically the venom is affected. But I know that people who have been stuck, they'll take a thermos of hot water with them and pour it on the wound. But if you get a good jab by one of these, it's going to really hurt, and it can get necrotic as well. I've seen pictures of it. You've probably seen them on Google, and it's pretty serious. Mm-hmm. Luckily, using this system here, I have never been stuck. We shot thousands of them. The most I've got stuck is when they're in the boat and you're pulling them out to clip the fins, and it's just a little juk, so to speak, not with a live fish. But I can imagine it really hurts like hell.
Mm-hmm. So we've got a great question. Oh, Connor says, NYC says, what's up? What's up?
Cool.
Let's Eat's asking, what impact will climate change have on invasive species? Great question.
That's a good question. We don't know. The lionfish, as I said, they're very adaptable. They're from very shallow warm water to deep colder water. Though their range geographically northward is curbed by temperature, is limited by temperature. So in the summertime they get as far north as maybe North Carolina, and I don't know about the eastern Atlantic. I don't think they got over there, but that's probably their outer limit. And in the south they've gone down to Brazil. So temperature is definitely a limiting factor. Mm-hmm. And on that note, do you want to talk about your land guys, because we're running out of time?
Well, no, we've got 15 minutes. We're good.
Yep.
So yes, there was, I think, one more question that I thought was really. A lot of people have said they're very delicious. Yes, they are considered the greenest of green from a sustainable point of view. So thank you to everybody who does that.
Thank you for mentioning that. They are very nice to eat, as I said. They taste a bit like a hogfish or a really nice snapper. They are the most green fish to eat, of course, because you're taking the pressure off the other desirable species, the groupers and snappers, by eating these. And in fact, many of the divers here, the dive guides, on their day off, they'll go and shoot lionfish to sell them to the restaurants here, because they make quite a bit of money. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so a couple of people were asking if there are any tournaments or roundups for this fish. Yes, there would be in various different places. So I recommend you talk to your local dive shops, or even the respective ministries of environment, to talk about what it is that they're doing with respect to this effort, because they benefit from receiving information about the lionfish as well. So if you can help remove them and provide them information as they've asked for it, it can help provide a clear picture of what's happening.
Okay, well, while we're on the Department of Environment here, you used to work with the Department of Environment, Jessica, so this is a wonderful segue into what you used to do with the Department of Environment. Over to you.
Is someone nervous of the camera today?
Not
is that
at all.
What's happening?
There you go.
So, as invasive species are... well, I kind of wanted you to talk about what made this invasive species
already.
a successful design.
I did.
But, did you?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Anyway, so yes, as Dad mentioned, I used to work as a research officer with the Department of Environment in the Cayman Islands, and one of the jobs that I helped with was understanding what's happening with the green iguana population on the Cayman Islands. And thanks to a brilliant colleague, Jane Hawkinson, who showed initiative and said, let's look at what the existing population is and see how this is going to change over time, knowing that it's an invasive species. We didn't fully appreciate how invasive it was. And so I'm just going to read out something that was printed out in the Flickr subscription. So if anyone is interested in learning more about what's happening in Cayman, the Flickr subscription is a free newsletter which has updates. Really recommend. Yes. And there is a fantastic article on the green iguanas. So I just want to read a section that will. So this was published in February. This is the February-March of this year publication. And to date in Grand Cayman, they had culled 1,185,869 green iguanas.
And how do you know that's an exact count?
Because the Department of Environment have registered colours
Right.
who have to submit in those.
What colour are they? Yellow, green, purple, blue?
So funny. Anyway, so
No,
but
the point is that they're getting paid. That's my point. So you know exactly how much you spent on this whole program.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's true, and goes again in an
Have you got my phone? Because I got a picture on there of a nice big one.
It's here, but it's
Okay, we can show it.
well, no.
Yeah, keep going. You keep talking, and I'll find the picture. Quick.
Okay. Anyway, so the point is that green iguanas, like the lionfish, also was caused because a lot of people released them into the wild. And though they're vegetarian, they cause a lot of damage to our natural environment, including shaving off a lot of mangroves. They cause a lot of trees to die, particularly in Cayman. A big problem was our red birch tree.
All right, look there. There's a big male there. Yeah?
Oh.
Yeah. Closer. Much closer. Down a bit. Up a little bit. Closer. There you go. You got it. Can you see that, guys? Yeah, man. That's good.
Okay.
Yep.
So anyway, but they cause a lot of damage, and they repopulate very quickly. They can have up to 80 eggs at once, which is
that many? The eggs are huge.
That many. Well, they're smaller than a rock iguanas, which is the point of why we're bringing this up. Is an important for a removal process, you have to know how to differentiate between iguanas. So in Cayman, it's a bigger problem because we have two endemic species of rock iguana. Here in Grand Cayman, we have the blue iguana, and in the sister islands, we have the sister islands rock iguana. And they compete largely for nesting space because they both use the sand to bury their eggs. And there was also signs of hybridization, which is also a big problem. So it's one of those things where when part of the problem, what's the word I'm saying? As part of the invasive species, how to be preventative of this is to be responsible pet owners. And so do
you want to elaborate on that some more?
I would also like to see what people are saying at the back. So just if you go ahead.
I'll read it to you. You're up. Well, it's not gone on to.
Like I said, let me help and see. Hold on. Sorry, guys.
There was a question there about Goliath groupers eating lionfish, and they probably do. We certainly have groupers here definitely eating lionfish.
See, Garrett, video is slightly blurry. I think your dad did it. Lol.
What, is it?
Yes. No, it's fine now. It's fine now.
I didn't touch a thing.
It's fine now. Philip is asking, can you eat lionfish? Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people saying hello. Amy says, what should you do if you swim near them while snorkeling, and how dangerous is it? Well, so this is why they're so successful, because they look like a passing leaf debris. And that's their main way that they are able.
I'll call them a flower, not leaf debris.
Okay.
Anyway, keep
fine.
going.
That's fine. Yeah. Anyway, so they are not going to be out to get anybody. They're not territorial in that way, and they ambush their prey. So they get really, really close before they pop open this huge mouth to engulf their prey. So if you do see one, it's not going to hurt you. You obviously don't want to push up against it because you don't want to get it. In its defensive mechanism, it will turn its back on you and flare out because it knows that it has these venomous spines, which is really amazing. And it's a shame because they are very beautiful. but you're not at risk of being hurt. But what you should do if you do see one is to try and remove it if you have the means to do so, or report it to someone who can.
All right, let's go get dry again and get back to iguanas.
What?
Come on,
No.
we don't have much time left.
We
Let's
do.
go.
We
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
loads of time.
Yeah. It's a much more interesting topic.
It's not. Well, they're all interesting. That's why we're talking about
I want you to get
it.
into being responsible as a pet owner.
Okay.
No.
Hold on. Let me just. Glenn's asking, do they spawn year-round or seasonally?
All year round, as far as we know.
So,
Yep.
and that's the important thing too, is that, and people would have seen from the educational video, is that they spawn every 4 days
Yeah.
about 30,000 eggs at a time,
Yeah.
which is what's lent itself to becoming such a successful invasive species.
Assuming the water temperature is warm enough, a lot of fish like yellowfin tunas will spawn only when the water is 24 degrees centigrade or warmer. And so if they're in that environment all the time, they'll spawn all the time.
Right.
Give them enough food. So the same with lionfish. Presumably it's warm enough here for them to do that.
And
But
then,
maybe not in the northern Gulf of Mexico, for example.
right. And
All right.
I'm just seeing if there's any other questions that people
I'm
may-
sorry, there's not much painting to do today, guys.
You
but
can
if
see it's getting him really anxious.
If you want to ask any questions about the art on this, you can do, but keep going
Yeah,
with the
I-
iguanas.
no,
Where
I'm-
are we with them?
I just read out where we're
Yeah,
at
but how
with them.
many? How big are those? That big orange one that I had there.
They're quite big. I don't
But
know
how old
exactly
is that? How old would that animal be?
I don't know.
You were the iguana expert. You were
I
Mrs.
was not necessarily
Mrs.
the
Ig.
iguana expert. I'm just saying I helped with that initiative.
Didn't you
But-
lead the initiative for a while?
No, Dad.
Okay.
It was a joint effort. The
Alrighty.
DOE led the initiative. Proud pop right here.
All right.
proud
So
pop. Anyway,
how did the government
Ken-
afford to pay for the culling? That's a very
So-
interesting thing.
Okay, so they did that because they have created an environmental protection fund, which is fed by funds coming in from every passenger that comes in.
Every visitor,
and
pretty much.
visitor leaving
Every
the
person leaving.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the pot, having not been able to use it, another story, another time, for so long, it was agreed through the agreement of the National Conservation Council by various legislative decisions to access this fund to help pay for cullers to remove the iguanas. And so that is why we have also been very successful.
How much a head was it?
I think it was $5.
Yeah, $5 CI, which is $6 US per head. But
Right.
you had to carry them in and have them counted, right? Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
So what do they do with the iguanas after that? A lot of people eat them. right?
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people eat them, and that's part of the reason they're also. That's an interesting point actually you bring up, because a lot of Central American countries where the green iguana is native has actually become, I think, endangered
Right.
because of the amount of,
Right.
of
They're
animals that are eaten. So, which is, and so some of the suggestions that were made were, why can't we give them our iguanas and repopulate their iguanas? Well, it's a good idea in theory, but you can't do that because you are at risk of spreading a disease to other countries, which is much harder to manage, and also the transport of animals is very difficult. But it wouldn't be considered a responsible management move to do, and and they're also very territorial as well. So it would be very difficult to
Okay,
do that.
great. So, but did the culling work?
It's working.
Yeah,
So that's one of the problems that
Yeah.
we're gonna see. We are likely gonna see now, is because this is the time in which the iguanas are starting to court again.
Right.
And so normally you would be out there seeing a lot more iguanas and having them removed.
Yeah,
But because we're all stuck,
yeah.
it's going to be a bit of a problem. So we're
Yeah.
it's a very unfortunate time to have had this happen, particularly with invasive species. So again, what we recommend people to do is to learn more about them. So, by going on and seeing these educational videos, the Lionfish documentary that we've all done as well, called Aliens of the Deep,
Right.
on Amazon Prime. Highly recommend if you
Yeah.
haven't seen it already. And so learn more about them, be responsible pet owners, and avoid having invasive species as a pet.
Great. And we're going to sign off now. So what have we got coming up on Saturday?
On Saturday we have the documentary day of Tiger Shark Express.
Perfect.
There we go. And
that's really cool, because I, in my book I'm writing, I just spent about 2 weeks telling the whole story about how tiger sharks in particular have become the iconic species of the shark interactive programs in the Bahamas. And I've been digging into the history of how the Bahamas still has so many sharks compared to many other Western Atlantic countries. It's because they banned longlining, all kinds of longlining, from as far away as 1993. So that's a long time ago. So all these sharks have basically had a chance to live out their lives, reproduce, and the Bahamians have turned it into quite a story in terms of sustainable use of sharks rather than killing them. The Tiger Shark Express will look at our work in Bermuda, which is linked to the Bahamas by the migratory nature of these animals, and it's going to be a very interesting documentary to watch, so do watch it. We bring in a lot of different research personalities, and I look forward to some great questions next Saturday. And I don't think we have a tiger shark piece here, but I'll work on something, because it's been a while. But it's fresh in my mind because I've just been writing this immense chapter in my book about it.
Great.
And we'll introduce the character of Emma.
Yeah.
All right, Jess, do you have anything else to say?
Yes, I do. So, as part of your activity for the day, for parents and kids watching,
there we go.
We have suggested that you research an invasive species that interests you, and then you can design a device that could help eradicate that certain species. So go home, have a look on your computer and see there's a lot of different invasive species around the world, and so a lot to learn, lot to choose from, and have fun. And if you want to post your designs and what you've learned,
that'd be interesting.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
And it can include the ones that we've discussed today, but it's also...
There are also a lot of invasive birds in North America, lots of parrots and animals that have come from Central and South America that people brought in as pets that have escaped.
Yes.
There's lots of exotic animals not apparently doing that much damage, but they're there.
Yeah,
Not in the same way a lionfish or a green iguana has done.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can talk to the Australians and the Kiwis and find out, there's
they're
a lot
very
more
strict about that.
And that's a really cool thing to look into as well, is how countries have tried to eradicate certain invasive species that has wiped out. And in people's backyard, those of you in Florida, the
monkeys.
No, not working.
The boa constrictors,
Is it boa constrictor?
Pythons.
Pythons. Yeah. Thank you. The pythons. Yeah. Burmese pythons, I think it is. That is affecting the Everglades drastically. Anyway, so that closes our session for today. We have talked a lot about things today.
Well done.
And hope you guys enjoyed the session. We'll be back on Saturday at 11 Eastern Standard Time to talk about our documentary day of Tiger Sharks Express.
Yep. And in the meantime, stay safe out there.
Yes. So, sorry about that. Maintain social distancing. I mean, we're family, so it's okay. But when we're traveling outside...
I put my mask on.
We'll cover this short because someone is calling me now. Anyway, just... please be safe, enjoy the educational videos, and we will see you here back on Saturday. But try out the activity, and if you have any comments about the educational videos or documentaries, please send them in. We'll get to them all. But thank you everybody for signing in today. It's a pleasure to be here, and hopefully we will see you soon. Bye.